She flung the door open, but again, no one was there. Her pulse quickened. The air around her seemed to hum with energy, but not the kind she had expected. Something was off. As she closed the door for a second time, her phone buzzed on the table. Her breath caught in her throat as she rushed over. Jordan's name lit up the screen. Her fingers trembled as she answered. "Jordan?" she whispered, her voice hopeful, desperate. "Mira." His voice was low, almost as if it came from far away. "I need to see you." Her heart raced. "Yes, of course. Come over." "No," Jordan interrupted. "I'm already outside." Mira's blood ran cold. She hadn't heard him arrive. Slowly, she walked back to the door and opened it. This time, Jordan was there, standing in the hallway. But something about him was wrong. His face was pale, his eyes hollow, and his expression empty, lifeless. He stepped inside without a word, his gaze fixed on her. But there was no warmth, no love in his eyes, just emptiness. Over the next few days, Jordan became a constant presence in Mira's life. He was always there, watching her, following her every move. But there was something eerie about his behavior. He never smiled, never laughed, never showed any of the affection Mira had craved. Instead, he was cold, distant, like a shadow of the man she had once loved. At first, Mira tried to convince herself that the spell just needed time to take full effect, that Jordan would come around, that the warmth would return. But as days passed, his behavior became more unsettling. He would stand by her bed at night, watching her while she slept. He followed her to work, standing outside her office building for hours, his expression vacant. He didn't speak much, and when he did, it was in monotone, as though he were repeating words without feeling. Mira's initial excitement turned to dread. She had wanted Jordan's love, but this wasn't love. This was something else, something dark. The spell hadn't just brought him back to her. It had taken away everything that made him him. One night, unable to bear it any longer, Mira returned to the book, flipping through its pages frantically. There had to be a way to reverse the spell, to undo what she had done. Her eyes scanned the yellowed pages until she found it, a warning, scribbled in the margins by someone long ago. Love spells are not to be taken lightly. They bind not only the heart, but the soul. And sometimes what is bound cannot be unbound. Her heart sank. She had meddled with forces she didn't understand, forces far stronger than she had anticipated. But she couldn't give up. There had to be a way. That night, Mira prepared a new ritual, one to reverse the spell, to free Jordan from whatever dark magic had taken hold of him. She gathered new ingredients, recited new words, her voice shaking as she spoke the incantation. But this time, something went horribly wrong. As the final words left her lips, the room around her seemed to warp. The walls shifted, and the air crackled with energy. A dark figure appeared in the corner of the room, shadowy, indistinct, but undeniably there. It whispered to her in a language she couldn't understand, but the meaning was clear. The spell couldn't be undone. Not now. Mira screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the darkness that enveloped her. Jordan appeared in the doorway, his eyes glowing with an unnatural light. He walked toward her, his steps slow, deliberate. "I'm yours now," he whispered, his voice no longer his own. "Forever." Mira backed away, tears streaming down her face. This wasn't what she wanted. This wasn't the love she had dreamed of. As Jordan reached for her, Mira felt the weight of her mistake crushing her. She had bound him to her, but in doing so, she had lost him, forever trapped in a twisted version of love that would never be real. And as the shadows closed in, Mira realized too late that some things are never meant to be controlled. Love spells can be dangerous because they attempt to manipulate someone's free will, which can create unhealthy, forced relationships. They often lead to unintended consequences, as interfering with natural emotions can distort authentic connections. Additionally, dabbling in spells or occult practices can open spiritual doors that may lead to harm or negative energy. True love should be based on mutual respect and genuine affection, not control or manipulation.